Hey champs, welcome back to Math Learning Studio. We are discussing probability, and in the previous video we discussed some basic terms and their definitions with examples. Alright? We discussed about the sample space, we discussed about the total possible outcomes, we discussed about favorable outcomes. We also learned what do we mean by an event and what are the types of events, right? Today we'll take it further and we'll learn how do we calculate probability of any particular or any given event, right? So आज का डिस्कशन होगा कि हम कैसे फाइंड करेंगे प्रोबेबिलिटी को. आपके पास एक क्वेश्चन गिवन होगा, उस क्वेश्चन में एक एक्सपेरिमेंट के बारे में बात करेंगे जहां से हम सैंपल स्पेस बनाएंगे, राइट? आपको याद है कल हमने बात की थी रैंडम एक्सपेरिमेंट्स. यस, प्रोबेबिलिटी इज बेस्ड ऑन सम रैंडम एक्सपेरिमेंट्स. ओके, फिर हमने टोटल पॉसिबल आउटकम्स फाइंड करने होंगे फ्रॉम द सैंपल स्पेस एंड देन वी विल अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू कैलकुलेट. Okay, well, whenever we calculate the probability, this is the final and one formula that we apply, and it says that favorable outcomes divided by total possible outcomes. That simply means कि जब भी जिस इवेंट की probability find करनी है, we first need to calculate उस इवेंट में कितने उस इवेंट के फेवर में कितने आउटकम्स है, कितने रिजल्ट्स हैं, राइट? एंड देन वी हैव टू divide those many favorable outcomes by the total possible outcomes. So it's simply like if India and Australia are playing a cricket match, okay, and we say that India has 60 chances out of, yes, that out of should be there, out of 100 say. So usually those kind of possibilities or those kind of predictions are given in percent. And we know percent means what? Out of 100. So it's like if there are 100 chances or 100 matches to be played on those given conditions between India and Australia, then India will win 60 out of those matches, right? That is why we say 60% out of every 100. So total possible outcomes become 100 in that condition, and in favor of India, there will be 60 conditions or 60 matches. Alright? So 60 by 100 is 60%. So we need to find the favorable outcomes, FO, out of the total possible outcome of any event. Alright? So that means sample space becomes very important. From the sample space, total possible outcomes becomes very important. Then we need to understand the event also, कि event क्या है, right? And from the event we need to find out the favorable outcomes. Alright? So this is, you can say, these are the four things that we need to understand for every random experiment in a particular given question. Alright? Before taking the question, let us understand about these three things. This is what we discussed yesterday, three types of the events. First is called the sure event. I know you must be knowing what is the meaning of sure event. Yes, sure event is that event जिसके फेवर में सारे आउटकम्स होते हैं. एक पर्टिकुलर एक्सपेरिमेंट में हमने सैंपल स्पेस बनाया and all the possible outcomes are favoring that, right? In this condition, the FO, favorable outcomes, becomes same as total possible outcomes, right? This example that in a throw of a die, getting a number more than 0. All of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all those 6 numbers are more than 0. It means अगर हम बोले कि I will win the game when I get a number more than 0, means all the events are, all the possible results or outcomes are favoring me, favoring my statement. Alright? So in that condition, these two become equal, and I know you must be knowing it. If any fraction has numerator and denominator same, what's that fraction? Yes, that fraction is 1. So, it means for any sure event, the probability or the chances will always be equal to 1. In other way, we can say 100%, but 100% also means what? 100 out of 100, right? So they cancel each other and we get 1 only. This is the meaning, or this is the probability for a sure event. The probability of sure event is always equal to 1. Right? Then we discuss also about the impossible event. भाई impossible event कौन सा होता है? Of course, that event in which, for which there is no outcome, there is no result from the sample space that will favor it. ठीक है, मतलब फेवरेबल आउटकम्स एक भी नहीं होगा. लाइक वी टेक द एग्जांपल अगेन, 1 2 3 4 5 6 डाई थ्रो किया. अ पर्सन विल विन इफ ही और शी गेट्स अ नंबर लेस देन 1. लेस देन 1 आ ही नहीं सकता उसमें, बिकॉज नंबर 0 1 2 0 तो होता नहीं, 1 2 3 4 5 6 ही होते हैं, राइट, इन अ नॉर्मल फेयर डाई, राइट. सो इट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू गेट अ नंबर लेस देन 1 इन द थ्रो ऑफ अ डाई. सो वो जो इवेंट होगा दैट बिकम्स इम्पॉसिबल इवेंट. मीन्स उसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी आएगी क्या, 0 आउट ऑफ वट एवर द नंबर ऑफ गिवन आउटकम्स, टोटल आउटकम्स, बिकॉज फेवर में तो एक भी नहीं है. So in that condition it will be 0 by the total possible outcomes, and 0 by say n हम ले लेते हैं, 0 by anything is always equal to 0. That means the probability of an impossible event is always 0, null, 0 chances है उसके, right? This is that event जिसके बारे में हमको बात समझनी पड़ेगी, because ये दो के क्वेश्चन तो ऑफ कोर्स बनेंगे नहीं ना, बिकॉज अंडरस्टूड हो गया इम्पॉसिबल है तो 0 प्रोबेबिलिटी, श्योर है तो 1 प्रोबेबिलिटी, दैट्स इट. व्हाट अबाउट द पॉसिबल चांस, पॉसिबल इवेंट? पॉसिबल इवेंट इज दैट इवेंट इन विच सम ऑफ द आउटकम्स विल फेवर इट एंड सम ऑफ देम विल नॉट, राइट. सो दैट रिजल्ट और दैट आउटकम मे कम एंड मे नॉट कम, राइट. सो दैट पॉसिबल इवेंट विल हैव अ प्रोबेबिलिटी लेस देन 1, बिकॉज वो श्योर नहीं है तो 1 तो नहीं हो सकता, पूरे चांस तो नहीं मिलेंगे, बट इट विल बी श्योरली मोर देन 0 ऑल्सो, बिकॉज वो इम्पॉसिबल भी नहीं है, राइट. सो इट विल हैव द प्रोबेबिलिटी बिटवीन 0 to 1. एंड नाउ मार्क माय वर्ड्स, ये बिटवीन, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड इन प्रोबेबिलिटी, बिटवीन. ओके, सो बिटवीन का मतलब है कि बीच में, ना तो 0 हो सकता ना 1 हो सकता, उनके बीच में, एक्सक्लूडिंग 0 and 1 both. So the probability of any possible event will always lie between 0 to 1 only. Okay. Now I have written a very important word here that is called equally likely. इसका मतलब क्या है? Well, जब भी हम random experiment करेंगे और probability questions करेंगे, right? Every random experiment will have a sample space, right? It will have a sample space. It will have some list of outcomes that can occur, that can come, right? The results. So individually अगर हम बात करें उन results की, individually अगर बात करें all those possible outcomes की, then each and every outcome is equally likely. Means each outcome has equal chances to occur. So when we throw a die, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, these 6 numbers have equal chance. Suppose we have a die, 6 face है जिसमें, but we have written only 3 numbers, means 1 2 3 and 1 2 3. ठीक है. So अब वहां पर क्या होगा, वहां पर 4 5 6 के लिए तो कोई चांस नहीं हुआ, राइट. 1 2 3 1 2 3 दो बार आ गया, so वहां पर भी इक्वली लाइकली क्यों हुआ, बिकॉज 1 2 3 1 2 3, this will be the sample space, so you can see 1 is twice, 2 is twice, 3 is twice, तो equal chances हैं. So equally likely means each and every individual result is equally possible, equal chance. अब यहां पर देखो आप, out of 6 possibilities, how many times 1 is there? 1 time, so 1 out of 6. 2 also, just 1 time it is, so 1 out of 6, 1 out of 6. So all these will have 1 by 6, 1 out of 6 chances to appear or to come as a result when we throw a die, right? That is the meaning of equally likely. Alright? So just make a note of these things, ki sure, possible and impossible event. Now, there's one more thing, one more point you can say, one more objective kind of question is maximum times asked. Suppose हम बात करें possible event की, वो हो सकता है, right? So if I say there are total 5 chances, okay, total possible outcomes is 5, and out of those 5 chances there are 3 chances that is favoring a particular event. Okay, I'm just taking any random example. आप कोई भी example ले सकते हैं उसमें. Suppose you have 5 balls in a bag and you want to take out 1 ball. Okay, and उसमें 3 balls जो है वो red color की हैं, बाकी 2 we do not know. Okay, so red color की probability chance कितने हो जाएंगे, 3 out of how many, 5. So favor में 3 balls हैं, आउट ऑफ टोटल पॉसिबल 5. ठीक है, अब मुझे बताओ आउट ऑफ 5 हाउ मेनी बॉल्स आर नॉट इन फेवर, आर नॉट. सो 3 अगर फेवर में है, सो 2 विल नॉट बी इन फेवर. मतलब ये जो प्रोबेबिलिटी है, सी दिस इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ रेड बॉल, विल से P ऑफ R. दिस इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ रेड बॉल्स. ठीक है, रेड बॉल निकलेगी भाई. व्हाट इज दिस कॉल्ड देन? इसको क्या बोलेंगे हम? प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एनी अदर कलर, बट मैं तो पता है नहीं कलर क्या है, आई डोंट नो द कलर्स. सो हाउ कैन आई से? सो विल से दिस इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ नॉट R. प्रोबेबिलिटी नहीं आने की, रेड नहीं आएगा, उसके चांस कितने हैं? 2 chances, right? It is also sometimes written as probability of R bar or sometimes R dash also. But the most suitable is not R. So red nahi chahiye. All right? So, but there is something very important. When I add these two probabilities, what do I get? Yes, I get 1. है ना? 3 by 5 plus 2 by 5. 5 is the LCM. We get 5 by 5, so 1. That means किसी भी इवेंट का होना या किसी भी एक पर्टिकुलर आउटकम का आना एंड ना आना मीन्स हैपनिंग ऑफ एन इवेंट एंड नॉट हैपनिंग ऑफ एन इवेंट एड टुगेदर टू गिव यू 1. One more way, success of any particular event or any outcome or result and failure of that. भाई रेड आया सक्सेस हुआ, नहीं आया फेल हुआ, right? So that is always equals to 1. So हम इसको ऐसे लिखते हैं, probability of any event plus probability of not happening of that event is always equal to 1. Alright? So ये probability जो था हमेशा याद रखना है कि probability of any event plus probability of not happening of that event, success plus failure is always equal to 1. Alright? एक बात और, इक्वली लाइकली आउटकम्स के बारे में डिस्कशन किया. ईच आउटकम हैज सेम चांसेस एंड नो व्हाट, अगर हम इंडिविजुअल सबको ऐड करेंगे ना, स्टिल विल गेट 1. सो वी ऑलवेज समटाइम्स से टोटल प्रोबेबिलिटी इज आल्सो इक्वल टू 1. इसकी टोटल प्रोबेबिलिटी इंडिविजुअल इवेंट्स के अकर होने की प्रोबेबिलिटीज का सम अगर करेंगे, दैट बिकम्स टोटल प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एनी पर्टिकुलर इवेंट. जैसे ये 6 नंबर्स हैं. All right. So each number has how many chances? 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6. Do not think ये 2 by 6 हो जाएगा. No. How many times 2 is there? Just one time. Just make a note of this, and then we'll take just one example, and I'll explain how do we find the favorable outcomes and how do we find the total possible outcomes of any sample space or random experiment. All right. And then we'll see how do we solve the question. So make a note of this. Okay, now we will take an example to understand how do we find the total possible outcomes, how to prepare a sample space before that, and then depending on the events given, how do we calculate the favorable outcomes. All right. So there's an example. The question says cards numbered from 11 to 60 are kept in a box and mixed well. Okay, this is important. Mixed well. A card is drawn at randomly एक कार्ड निकाला. Find the probability find करनी है if the drawn card is now these 3 are the given events to us. Okay, so the very first thing when we solve this kind of questions is to prepare or to find the sample space, SS, the sample space. So sample space means what? The list of all the possible outcomes. All right. So here the sample space will be 11, 12, 13 till 60, because it is from 11 to 60. So from 11 to 60. Sometimes this same question can be a bit confusing. We'll just write the word between here. Okay. In the previous part I told you that between means excluding the limits. So if it is written between 11 to 60, then we will not count 11 as well as 60. Both will be excluded. Keep that in mind. But here we are including them. So sample space is 11, 12, 13 till 60. Then second thing we need is the total possible outcomes for this sample, this experiment. or from this sample space, we need the total possibility. How many will be there? There will be 50 possibilities. You may be thinking of 60. No, 60 will not be, because there is no number between from 1 to 10. It is starting from 11 going till 60. So there will be 50 total possible outcomes. Alright. Next is what? Next we need the favorable outcomes. और वो किस पे डिपेंड करता है? वो डिपेंड करेगा the event पे, right? So we have the event as odd number. We need a number which is odd. कार्ड निकाला, कार्ड पे odd number होना चाहिए. So what are the chances of that? How many cards out of these 50 cards? How many of them will be odd? Every alternate number? Yes, 11, then 13, then 15, then 17. We'll write favorable outcomes for. We'll write the commas. Now favorable outcomes for what? For I write this complete event here. We'll say favorable outcomes for an odd number. With odd number के favorable outcomes चाहिए. How many will be there? There will be 25. Alright? So we got the total possible outcomes, we got the favorable outcomes. And this is the formula for finding the probability of any event. So we'll write here, so probability of the event is equal to what? FO out of total possible outcomes. Favorable outcomes by TPO. So favorable is 25 divided by 50. We got the answer as 1 by 2. So out of every two numbers, there is one number which is odd. Or you can say out of every two cards, one chance is there that card will be an odd number. Alright, first. Now take the second. It says that what's the probability that the drawn card is perfect square number. Perfect square means, yes, the square of some natural numbers. Now how many cards or how many numbers out of these will be perfect squares? Well, from 11 here, so smaller numbers will not be taken. From 11 we get the first number as 16, which is the square of 4. Then we get the next number as 25, square of 5. Then square of 6, 36 will be there in that list. Square of 7 will also be there, 49. Square of 8, no, that is 64. It will not be in this list. So we can say these are the 4 numbers which are perfect square and in this list. Now, so this is one way of writing. We can again write favorable outcomes for a perfect square number. We'll write this complete statement. Then P of E, we get the probability. This is one more way. What we do, we say let A is the event 2. So we are naming this event. We are naming the event as A. So let A is the event to get a perfect square number. So what I have done is I have given a name to this event. Next step will be we have named this A. So we'll write favorable outcomes for A. Now see, I have not written this complete statement here because I have already named that A. A means I know this, a perfect square. So favorable outcomes for A is these 4 numbers, so just 4. And then we'll write probability of A only we will say. We need not to write P of E here, we'll write P of A because A is the name of that event. So it will be 4 out of 50, that is 2 by 25. Now the third question. Third is divisible by 5 and that I leave to you. Find out how many numbers from this list are divisible by 5. Okay, that becomes the favorable outcomes for this event. Favorable outcomes divided by total possible outcomes, we get the answer. Alright. So that's it in this video. In the first part, we discussed about some special kind of events, and we learned how do we find their probability. Right? We also learned that probability of success plus failure is always equal to 1, and the total probability of all the individual outcomes of a sample space is always, the sum is always equal to 1. Then we took an example and understand how do we proceed or how do we solve the questions based on the probability. Alright. In the coming up videos, I will be taking some special cases of the sample space for random experiment based on the cards, based on the dice, based on the coins, 1 coin, 2 coin, more than 2 coins. Alright. So make sure you watch those videos as well, because probability is that kind of chapter which is very important for competitive exams, for Olympiads, for normal school exams, and it is very easy to understand, but it also requires practice. Alright? So that is what our mantra is: learn, practice and succeed. Alright? So thanks for watching, like and share this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to my channel and stay connected.